The year is 2021. After a long period confined underground, humanity emerges, driven by the development of a new technology, Phoenix Project. Decades of calamities following nuclear disaster during the Cold War unleashed devastation on the known world, forcing civilization to take refuge underground. The challenge now consists of constructing regenerators capable of producing new habitats where life can develop once more, recolonizing the Earth. On the surface, a world full of hope awaits. Free commandos of the world, this is our moment. Let's rebuild a better world! Today on the podcast,
Phoenix, New Horizon.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Board Boys Podcast, Season 18, Episode 3. Today on the docket, Phoenix, New Horizon by Perro, Loko Games, and Devir here in the US. This is your board boy, promote those commandos, Rob.
This is your boy, Gas, TK.
This is your boy, Regenerate That, Jake.
So this is an alternate world where the Cold War didn't go so hot for the world.
So they probably should have rephrased that. The Cold War turned into a hot war.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Turned into what it was. I will say, there's not always a lot to feel optimistic about in today's world, but like, this isn't what happened in 2021. So
that's true.
We did something right. Things are better than they could be.
Yes, I guess. This is also feels very similar. Well, I guess there's a lot like Anachrony kind of goes along with this theme, and so does like Revive, where you're coming out of a hole in the ground to rebuild the world. All these post-apocalyptic games. All right, well, you know what? What is your favorite post-apocalyptic? Okay, hold on. I guess we could do two categories. Your favorite like end of the world movie, and then your favorite like post-apocalyptic.
Can we expand
world
this into series as well?
Sure.
Okay. Let me think about that for a second. I don't know if this counts, but my favorite TV series of all time is The Leftovers, which is about, 3% of the population is just gone, and it's just people trying to live in spite of that afterwards. So that's kind of the same, right? Like something dramatic happens and people are adjusting.
I'm trying to remember. There was a show called like The 100 or 1%.
The 100, yeah.
Where like they go up into space.
Yep, and then come back, and then there's like radiation and stuff
and
like
then it goes like way off the rails after a few seasons. But
yeah.
I liked that one for a series. I
think my wife Macy mentioned that it jumps the shark pretty heavily in the late seasons of that show.
I think it definitely does, but I still found it enjoyable.
That was one of those shows that got caught up in that big writer strike, right? I'm pretty sure
probably.
It was like at that same time where like a whole bunch of shows got real bad.
Yeah,
because they were like they shuffled in other writers, or like they were trying to catch up because they were out for a while or whatever it was.
Yeah, so. I think for me, like it doesn't get maybe any better than like Armageddon as far as end of the world movies.
That won some Razzies.
I don't care. I love Armageddon. Did it really?
The asteroid movie?
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe it's because I was a kid with Bruce Willis and they go drill. I loved Armageddon.
Okay, isn't that the song that got us
Aerosmith?
The Aerosmith song
probably
got us. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That had a lot of star power in it too.
That Aerosmith caused us to get an episode taken down, and what you to do for that should ruin your love for Armageddon.
Yeah. I don't know. I watched it again, I don't know, maybe a few months ago. It didn't quite hold up, probably, but I don't know. As far as like the world's going to end, what else is there?
I really
How about that M. Night Shyamalan one where the wind is killing people?
I think M. Night Shyamalan.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The worst movies.
I will say his movie Trap is actually kind of amazing. I mean, it's a terrible movie.
Is that his movie or his daughter?
It's M. Night Shyamalan, but his daughter is like the music star. That's like the main focal point of it. And so I really think that movie was just about we wanted to give his daughter like a big concert experience because they fill the arena with people, but. That movie is crazy entertaining. So I
I really liked it. The other one that's along those lines is Drop.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Drop is about this lady on a date who gets like an airdrop that they call. Oh
yeah,
else.
I think that was on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, back to end of the world stuff. Book wise, I really enjoy Station 11, which is dystopia after after the effects of things that have happened. That one's really good. The TV show was terrible, so I really like
Silo.
I know YouTube talked about that one before, but I don't know anything about that one.
But what about
Did you read the books?
Yes.
Okay. I did. I thought they got progressively worse and worse and worse.
The books did?
Yeah.
I thought that was a good series. I'm curious to see
So much so that I didn't watch season 2 of Silo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Season 2 I don't think was as good as season 1, but...
How many seasons are there now?
Just 2, I
it's
think.
just 2,
Okay.
Yeah, which is the second half of the first book.
Yeah, I guess this isn't end of the world, but Pluribus is also fantastic.
I've been interested in watching that because it's Vince Gilligan, right?
Yeah.
From Breaking Bad?
Yeah, he loves doing everything in Albuquerque. That's like where it's mostly based at, but the premise of that one is we download some kind of genetic code that turns us into like one person as a whole planet. That's the whole thing, but
Like a hive mind?
yeah, but like 12 people don't take. And like the main character is one of them. She's from
Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
It's like Ray Seahorn or something
Yeah,
like that.
she's really, really good.
She's really good in Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
I never watched the end of that. I really need to. I loved what I watched of it.
Fantastic show.
Yeah, the other series I was or book series, well, not series, it's just a novel, but I really like The Road by Cormac McCarthy as well. So that's also, post-apocalyptic.
Blade Runner.
Okay.
I don't really get the hype about Blade Runner, to be honest.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Yeah,
and
I would agree.
Do they dream of electric sheep or whatever is the book?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've never really seen the original Blade Runner. Arnold.
Wait, is it Arnold? I'm pretty sure. What's the movie where they're like on like a game show and it's post-apocalyptic where they're dying?
That's The Running Man.
That's The Running Man. Okay, yeah.
The Running Man. I haven't seen the original one, but the remake of it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to talk about Mad Max, which is basically what this game's theme is, right?
Well, that's true. I like Mad Max a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like the redo of Mad Max, whatever.
Fury Road. Yeah, that was good. I liked it.
When I think of a post-apocalyptic, when I think of that genre.
Now I'm going to try to say it again.
No.
Okay.
I'm leaving that in too.
Yeah.
When I think of that genre, I always think there was a movie, like 2 movies that came out in the same year that were like the same movie. It was
Ants in A Bug's Life.
No. It was like Deep Impact and
I don't know.
Something.
Cam would know.
You think so?
I don't know. He just seems to know those weird things. Although he doesn't love movies, though, right?
Correct. I mean, in general.
Yeah.
You're going to text him.
Maybe Deep Impact and Armageddon came out in the same year.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Deep Impact.
It wasn't as good as Armageddon. Yes. Armageddon and Deep Impact were both released in 1998. And like they came out like around the same time. And I guess even talking about other blockbuster type. I mean, this isn't like end of the world stuff, but I remember when I was a kid like loving Independence Day.
Oh, Independence Day ruled as a kid. I also don't think that one holds up, however.
Oh, I haven't gone back.
And they made a new one a couple years ago, didn't they?
Yes.
I never watched that.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into some games we've been playing.
I don't have anything to talk about. Unfortunately, the last game I played before this was when we reviewed Covenant, which is 2 episodes ago. I will say, though, I've been deep in the weeds of playtesting for the game that I've been working on with Alex Pfister and Ryan Hendrickson, and we are definitely in the final push. So if any listeners are interested in doing a playtest, we definitely want to get more 4-player games out. So come to our Discord and send a message, and we can get you added to that one specifically.
I have rules named after me.
Or if you're coming to GammaCon,
yeah, we are.
Play with us there.
I believe we are going to have a physical prototype there, and yes, Tim is right. We have a specific thing that is the Tim.
The Tim rule?
The Tim rule.
There's
although
multiple ones. There's the one rule where if you just ask for points, you get points.
Can I break that rule? The Tim rule?
I mean, I think the Tim rule is...
Is it an optional rule?
No, it's just,
Okay.
it's breaking the other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You can put stuff on top of stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That feels good.
Yeah.
Well, I could talk about a couple. We had a neighbor boy bring over a game called Flow because we're always teaching him games and he wanted to teach us a game. And this is based off a cartoon that they don't really talk in, but him and my son really love. I don't know what streaming service this is on, but it's all about animals. And this is from Brain Games. So I was like, oh, they do Ice Cool. And I actually just saw this for sale on the consignment shelf of Dungeons Gate too. So it's been popping up everywhere. It just came out in 2025. It is basically a real-time tile placement game where you're trying to get the 4 animals from the corners of the board to the middle of this board. And you take turns flipping tiles over and putting them on the board. And they will connect in different ways. But then some of them will have like blocks in the middle of them so you can't go through them. And so it's basically a speed game. And then after you run out of a minute timer, you roll some dice. And depending on what you roll, those columns and rows get destroyed that you'd built. So this game was actually really hard, I think. And there's like scenarios you can play. So you can play with like cards and like flip them over and they'll add like extra rules or like little variants. It was interesting. Like it was hard playing with kids. And I think this is kind of for kids because they just weren't fast enough to like make the game easier. And I feel like if you were playing this with just like a family, like maybe make the timer 2 minutes or something.
It's
Give it a lot of time.
FLOE.
FLOW.
W. Okay. Isn't there an FLOE game that's
coming out? Yeah.
similar? Yeah.
Yeah. That one is like going to be like a Euro, I think. But yeah, Flow is a cooperative game inspired by the hit animated film of the same name, it says. So if your kids like Flow, the cartoon, maybe check this out.
Cool. I got one. I was able to play, after the look back last episode with SETI, I was able to play the expansion, which basically adds organizations. So a kind of a, it's not really start. So it starts you with your starting resources, and then it gives you a player power, and there is a varying level of like difficulty to use these ones. So like the player powers can kind of be all kinds of wild stuff, but most of the ones that we had were an ongoing power and then a once per round power where you put a little disc on it and then it triggers off. But those were quite cool. So you get 2 of those and you keep 1. And then there's starting resource cards where you get 3 of those and keep 2, which basically gave you like, they had an effect on them. So like mine, I got extra data and I got to scan without having to, do the actions. And then some people got probes on stuff, got probes in space and all kinds of other crazy stuff. So you basically get those things, kind of juices you up and you play one less round. I really like the expansion. It kept it about the same length. It does not make it shorter, which I think is what everybody kind of talked about, but it was about the same length. What was it? 3 people with 1 person that did not know how to play was about 2.5 hours with Teach. So
that's not too bad. Were they pretty quick players?
Yeah, pretty quick, but like you have to kind of get into SETI a little bit, right? So I think he struggled a little bit with that. He didn't get it that first round where you basically have nothing and you do like, 4 actions and then you jump in the next round with a bunch of stuff. So, but yeah, you kind of get juiced out of the beginning. You get a bunch of extra tuck cards, and then we played with the 2 new aliens. So the expansion has 3 new aliens. They were really cool. Both of them were cool. They had interesting mechanisms that interacted with the game. So I'm looking forward to playing that some more. And I really like SETI. That reaffirmed it. Jared and I were talking in the middle of it. Like, this game is really fun. Just everything about it's really fun. So
yeah, I'd like to try the expansion for sure.
It's totally worth it. Like it doesn't add a giant like extra layer of complexity. It just gives you more kind of stuff at the beginning, so your first round feels better, and then you get a cool player power, maybe a little bit extra stuff. Like I got to use a technology that I didn't have for 1 turn once per round, which was awesome to just be okay. I need to land on a moon, so let me use this technology instead of having to go get technology and all that other stuff. So,
and there's like a bunch of those, right?
Yeah, there's probably 12, maybe something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch, and they have like a little number in the bottom that gives you the difficulty rating of each of them. So, I would highly suggest it for everybody. I think it was $20, maybe, which is not too bad either.
I really need to play SETI again. I'm still really low on it, but I haven't played it since the podcast, and I need to break it back out.
I think it's a 3-player game.
I think you can play it with 4 players without the expansion and the time frame you listed.
Yeah, maybe. But I really liked it at 3 players. I thought it was
just because it's like snappier.
Yeah, like it comes back to your turns a lot quicker, and yeah. But the last round we did 30 actions, so there was
that's insane.
Yeah, I mean we did when our podcast game too. Cam took 20 turns in the last round, right? So
yeah, I'm gonna ask Ben to bring that to GammaCon, I think, because he has the expansion. So
I mean, you can borrow mine too if you want. Just let me know.
I want to talk about a couple things briefly because I want more plays of them and then to kind of come back to it, I think. One is one that I've been waiting for a long time called Cthulhu Dark Providence. This is a reimplementation of A Study in Emerald and A Study in Emerald 2nd edition. If you played either of those, this is more akin to the 1st edition. The 2nd edition changed a ton of stuff and made the game fairly different. The biggest difference in this one is they've changed it to the Cthulhu Death May Die world for the theme instead of the Neil Gaiman story A Study in Emerald. So it is from Simon, and it's Travis Chance and Martin Wallace. And
That's a Martin Wallace game?
It was originally a Martin Wallace game.
Was it Study in Emerald Martin Wallace? Oh, okay. All right.
And it is got a bunch of Euro trappings, but it's a real Ameritrashy game because you can do a lot of crazy things with a lot of cards. This is not a game that you're going to play one time, I think, and have a great time with. And especially not like if you keep playing the game with new people all the time. I definitely have a better way of maybe teaching it. Like more of the teach is more about maybe things to watch for. Like the mechanisms in the game are pretty easy, but what you're supposed to be doing and how you win are maybe a difference. So the biggest thing is it's a hidden role game where there's cultists and there's investigators. And you can play this up to 5 people, and I think that's probably best at 4 or 5. And in every player count, you also throw in more cards than there are players. There's also 2 different dissidents. One is one for each side, one investigator and one cultist. And you cannot win the game if I'm a cultist and Tim's a cultist, and I have the most points and Tim has the least points. I don't win.
Wild.
So same thing with the investigators. The dissidents, even if they're both in the game, they are their own faction. They don't care about their teammate. But the cultists score differently than the investigators, and the dissidents kind of can score both ways. And without the dissident in the game, that's the big change that they added to this one, which I think will make the hidden role part of this better. Because normally, after you watch like an investigator do an action and a cultist do an action, you're like, well, that's something a cultist or an investigator would do. That's who you probably are. Boom, I got it figured out. But the only way you score points during this game is taking over cities, and everybody wants to do that. And that was something that maybe I didn't put across enough in the game. And like the game can also end in multiple different ways. If you get to a certain score threshold, or if somebody goes insane, or I mean, like this game has basically the main mechanism is you play cards. They have 3 different symbols on them. One is power, one is gold bars, and one is cubes. You play as many cards as you want that have that symbol on it, and you do an action based on that. The cubes will let you get cubes or place influence cubes out on cards, because the first thing you can do on your turn, you're going to do 2 actions every turn, and the biggest action is take a card off the table, but you can only do that as your very first action. So you can't like throw a cube on something, have the most cubes, and then take it. Everyone else gets a chance at the table to stop you from taking that card. And you can have like investigators and they move around. So it's like area control on the board to get all these cards. And these cards do wild, wild stuff. And so it's like a little bit of a deck builder too. And in our game of this, the cultists didn't really get it. And they just kind of let the investigators do whatever they wanted. And it wasn't really a close game. And like, nobody was really ever contesting people for cities or trying to take them back, or like, I need more plays of this game. And like, I think the game is super fun if you like that kind of game where this isn't a game where it's like, if it's not your turn, you're not on your phone or talking to something. Like you need to be like in the game the whole time, because there's 12 cards on the board and you got to know what they all do. And like, there's also city cards that if you own the city, you get that card, and you got to know what those do. And then there's these mythos cards that are like game-breaking abilities that you can bid on, and you got to know what those do. So like if you're not paying attention, you're going to just let somebody win.
So did you basically said you figured out who the cultists and the other people were, like the first easy action of the game?
I mean, within the first couple, okay. Like, because if I close a gate, investigators get points for closed gates, cultists get points for the other way. The thing is, there's way more ways to close gates than there is to open gates. The investigators have less ways to score points. The cultists have more ways to score points, but those individual ways are less.
Okay.
Like they have a wider breadth of options, but they have less of each of those options. And the dissidents can kind of do both. So I think what people need to realize is doing an action that may just stop someone else from, like, I might just close a gate to close a gate because I could do it. And then you couldn't do that. And then you're not going to score those points.
Okay.
It's that kind of thing. All you're trying to do is get the most points and figure out who your partner is and make sure they don't get the least amount of points. This isn't a team game.
Right.
You want to be just nice enough to your teammate so they don't lose. I don't know. I really like, there's no other game like this. It's super unique. And I think this version of it is more like a more streamlined version of it that I feel I can play with like between 60 and 90 minutes.
Do you still have the original, and are you going to keep it?
I didn't. I sold the original because I knew this one was coming, and the original has been out of print, and like I got a bunch of money for it. So, and they're close enough with some improvements. Like this is a true second edition of this game, I feel like. And they took out some of the stuff that just kind of felt bad, and then they added in those dissidents. And I don't know. Maybe we'll actually do an episode on this game at some point. It's a wild game.
We should.
The other two games I want to talk about are just Lord of the Rings games that we've talked about. Last episode, we did Fate of the Fellowship. Got to the table on Tuesday. Decided to revisit. I still really like it. I'm still of the opinion that you have to just like set up the characters you want for people. Like, forget that random setup. The game is so hard. Like, one thing we realized was in your very first game setup, they tell you to play as Frodo and Sam because they're one character, and then to also have that same character play as Legolas. That's because that's one of Legolas's actions is to literally make a cloak, and Frodo uses cloaks, and that way Frodo doesn't have to draw all the cloaks and use them that way. Like, just things like that. And if you don't manufacture that scenario yourself, you're just going to make the game harder, which I guess is fine. Like, if you play this game a ton and you get really good at it, then yeah, mix it up. But like, if you're going to play this game once in a while, if you want variety, just switch up the missions you're doing, because it's still awesome that there's a billion missions you can play.
Right. Yeah, because we played it was really hard.
Yeah, and we
got stopped.
We lost with like in an hour when we played it on Tuesday as well. The last one was, I'm trying to finish up Fate of the Fellowship, the trick-taking game. You guys have both played this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a bunch? Like you guys
I've played it several times. I don't have it, but I've played it several times.
We got to play the Mines of Moria on this one. And let me just tell you, if you guys haven't got there yet, you're in for a wild ride. That might be the most fun mission I played.
Okay.
So like the next time you guys play, like if it's available, try it. It's pretty interesting. You actually kind of feel like you're going through the mines, and the final time to beat it was really hard.
Okay. You got to fight a Balrog.
You kind of do.
All right.
It's neat. So
you get to sacrifice the person that's Gandalf, and they're just out of the game. You don't tell me.
Spoiler alert. If you really don't want a spoiler, fast forward 20 seconds. In the final battle, there is a Gandalf card that you switch out for the regular Gandalf, and he literally you can play whatever card you want with him whenever you want. You don't have to follow any rules of the game.
Okay. All right.
Which I think was super funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
Funny.
Yeah. So
is the Two Towers one out yet?
It is.
Yeah.
And I have it. And that's why I want to finish this one before I start the next one. Except for I can't find my copy of the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game. I don't know where it is. We played Dungeon Gate's copy on Tuesday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shocking that I can't find something.
But you have no games.
It's a small box, though, I just don't know where I put it. So I need to organize my game shelf this weekend anyway, so I'll probably pull a bunch of stuff out. And I bet it's hiding behind something for some reason.
It fell down behind something.
Or I put it like in the front of one of my game bags or something to fit more in. Ooh, that's a good idea.
Stay tuned next week to find out whether Rob found it.
For all the listeners, Rob has 10 game bags.
I don't know why I just kept getting more.
Yeah.
I think when game bags started to become a thing, I kickstarted a couple of them. And then BoardGameTables.com, aka AllPlay, started doing them. And then I was like, okay, well, these are better. And then we were at BGG Con, and they had the ones with the rolly bag. And I'm like, how can I not do that?
Yeah. So then you bought 7.
No, just one.
Okay.
But then like that one broke, and they sent me shout out to AllPlay. They just sent me a new bag because the other one like broke.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The wheelie part broke?
No, I picked it up and one of the straps
I remember that.
Just ripped right out of the thing. Yeah. It's like I still have it, but like the strap part wasn't functional anymore.
Speaking of game bags, I've decided for GameCon I'm going to bring like 3 games total, and I'm just going to play the games that I bring, because I never ever play almost any of the games that I bring. So I'm going to bring almost nothing.
I'm going to try to continue my streak of taking less as well.
I remember last GameCon, you had like 4 different bags, and then some other games that just weren't in bags.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm thinking about bringing a couple dudes on the map games. So
Bring Rising Sun. I've been wanting to play that for so long.
It is on my list to bring. The problem is it's 2 boxes. So that doesn't count.
Nope, doesn't count. If I bring my Cloudspire stuff, it'll take a whole seat in my car because I got that on Kickstarter now, and it's so much.
All right. Well, tonight on the podcast, we played Phoenix New Horizon, A New Dawn of Humanity from Perro Loko Games and also Devir Games. It is by Jorge J. Barrasso, and the art is Jorge Tabanera Redondo. It is currently ranked 2,258 on Board Game Geek, but it has a 7.8 rating, flying under the radar a little bit. 1 to 4 players, best at 3. We did that tonight. 60 to 120 minute playtime. The weight is 3.21 out of 5. Age is 14 plus. Do one of you want to take a shot at what you do in Phoenix New Horizon?
Thematically, I don't know how well I can explain the actions that you're taking, but there is an action board that basically there are several rest spots, and from those rest spots that are at different levels, it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 is preset, where they're going to be the same each game, and then what goes in the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s is mixed. And so basically you will take an action that is on that row that you're at, or you will pay fuel costs, which is the only currency of the game, to move up to a higher row to take the actions there. And there are ways that you can kind of skip that automatically based on if action selection spaces are filled. But then also you can pay to move up or even pay extra to take a fast lane to take that action immediately. So it is action selection that's also kind of worker placement-y with the way that it goes. But basically you have 3 main people. One is like your leader, and they are able to forego the fast track costs. And then essentially you are doing a mix of building regenerators, which allow the population to come back to the surface of the map. You are building different towns that go with those regenerators, and there have to be regenerators built to be able to build those. You are moving up a couple different tracks that are about getting rewards and then leading towards different scoring metrics. And then you also have some gear upgrades that you can take. I think those are the primary actions that you take. You do that over the course of 4 rounds, and then you do a final scoring, and that is what happens in Phoenix New Horizon.
All right, let's get to the table and come back with our thoughts on Phoenix New Horizon. All right, we are back. Initial thoughts time here for Phoenix New Horizon. I'll go first. Jake asked me what made me play this game to begin with. I couldn't remember why. It's been so long. This actually came out 2 Essens ago and just finally got released in the US like
right around Christmas time, I think. I think it was just out before that.
The last few months. So I guess I didn't really know what it was until I saw the worker placement, and that's really what drew me in, I think.
My first play, I know Rob had spoke about, being really taken with it upon his first play when he borrowed Al's copy, and then he was ordering it for himself. And the action selection with how that whole thing works is super unique and super interesting. So I left with a really positive takeaway regarding that. There were some things that I was kind of iffy on in the first play, and I will talk about how I felt about those upon replay.
I saw you guys play this game probably 6 times before I actually played it. I don't know why I'd never played it, but something about the theme and how it kind of looked, I never really was like, oh, I gotta get into that game. So I always let other people do it. On the first play, I was pleasantly surprised. So,
all right. Well, I already talked about my first pro, and it's the worker placement board. Just the ability to either take an action or upgrade your guy to the next level. Or, plan it out so maybe some spots are taken and you can bow up to the next level for free. Or do I pay that extra fuel to jump the line and go in front of somebody else? I don't know. And then if you go on one side of the board, then you're stuck on that side, and maybe there's something you want to do on the other side. And
is there
the scoring things on top and getting one of your civilians up there for when you hit the top? how you really cook in this game is how many times you can cycle, and because you only really get 12 worker placement spots. Like you get 12 actions in the game unless you get people to the top and back down. And I think in like my best games of this, I get like 3 or 4 extra actions, which is huge. Today I only got 2. I don't know how.
I got 1.
And you
I got
won.
2.
Yeah, and I saved it for the last round.
Maybe that's not even that
It
important.
feels really good. I mean, if you're getting 12 total actions and you're getting an extra one, that's a huge percentage increase.
There's no spots in the middle where you can connect back and go to the other side, right?
You can take the lame action to go down. Does it go down one level, or does it send you all the way to the back?
The lame action takes you all the way back down to the bottom.
Okay.
But that's a way to, like, if you're stuck, to get fuel if you don't have any. And like, I also think it's unique that this game really has one resource. It's just gas.
Yeah.
That's it. And just managing that one resource is trickier than you think, because you got to spend it on everything.
Yeah, and stuff gets expensive. Like it kind of reminds me of Tea Garden a little bit in the fact that you look and I have so much tea, but then it's just gone. And you think like, how am I going to spend this? And then it goes really quickly. Rob kind of alluded to this earlier, but I think it is so, again, unique and interesting that there's such a mix of it being really good to go early in turn order to make sure you get the spot that you want, but also being at the back end because you get additional fuel, which at times is very scarce. But also then it potentially opens up free actions for you to slide up to higher levels. So like I went last at the first round of this game today, and it allowed me to shoot right into the second level. And I'm pretty sure that guy stayed at that level the rest of the game from that one free movement that I got. But it gave me a discount when making regenerators. And I don't know, I just think that that's super interesting. And there's some nice little stalling tactics with the upgrades and not taking the fast route. Like
That's true.
I think that there's a lot of interplay into how you make those movements and what you make happen. And turns can be so consequential with the different things that you can have happen over the course of a turn. So like making sure that all lines up is really interesting and really rewarding.
Can I add one more thing on the action board before we kind of move off that? I don't know if we talked about it. The spots are all replaceable. So
right.
They're
outside of the first ones, but yes.
Are they
ground rows the same always?
So you basically slot in the action spots. Yeah, so level 1s are all the same. Level 2, level 3, level 4 have just holes in the action slot board that you slot in. Level 1, level 2, level 3, call it action tiles, which makes the game
crazy different.
Yeah, like much because like we said, you only can go up one side, you go up the other side. At the top, there's like a scoring thing. So, all of the regenerator building could be on one side that you didn't notice, or, like there could just be kind of crazy things all over the place. And I think that is a super cool.
For me, it's usually technology, which like I think is really good because it gives you something good and also gives you a bonus when you slot it. And you got to really plan on where you're going to maybe hit, especially like the upper level technology.
In this game,
stuff.
They were super hard to get to. There's only 2, right? There was a 2 and a 4. I don't think there even was a 3.
The 3 was on the left side.
Yeah.
Oh, were they all on the left side?
They're always in the game.
Okay.
2, 3 were on the left side. The 4 was like in the middle.
Yeah, that's right.
But like even on like level 3 and level 4, I guess, there's like when you move up to the left. But then on level 3, there's 2 spots on the left and 2 spots on the right that you can move to. So even then, you only get to pick between maybe 2 actions or 1 action.
2 actions and 1 at the top. Yeah.
When you move up, so like you really even have to think about that too, like because it's not just moving up from level 2 to level 3. It's moving up to level 2 to a spot on level 3, which then sticks you there for the end of the round. Like.
Well, and not only that too, but then that limits which path you're going towards at the end for the 4, for what you're going to score. And not only may that not be compatible with what you're doing, you may not have unlocked a guide to even score that, which feels super wasteful if you get all the way to the top. It's not wasteful because you get the action, but like it just, there's a lot of timing. And upon first play, I felt the placement of your guys felt kind of weird, especially because you're just like leaving him at the top. But upon the second play, when I knew how that worked, I really liked it because it really allowed me to plan and be proactive about what I wanted to accomplish, and knowing that I had to make sure I met those milestones before I did certain things. Again, that's the kind of puzzle that I really, really like in games.
All right. Anything more on the action board?
I mean, that's definitely the star of this game.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's variations on all the actions. Just everything's interconnected. And it's fairly... It's hard to maybe explain it first, but the way the board is laid out is fairly intuitive after that, between the blue lines and the red lines and on all the upgrading and where things go. I think they did a pretty good job of laying that out for as complex as it is.
And
there's a 2-player side, and then there's a 2-player side of the regular board. I think both sides of the board are the same for the action board, but there's a different layout. You block off some spots whether you're playing with 2 or 3 players.
Yeah, and the action board still has that, aesthetic. So like there's gears and wires and, I'll call it like costs and stuff all over the place. So yeah, the action board's great. It's great.
Again, this game gives you a ton of ability to kind of wombo combo into things. There were a lot of times where I really wanted to build a building, for instance, because maybe I had a contract that required it. And by taking a completely different action, I was able to, get that building out maybe by moving up the tracks that are on the side. Like there's so many ways you can kind of wiggle into it. And I also really enjoy that about this game. And then again, if you're somebody who likes wombo combo, that certainly builds the potential of that too. You do something which lets you do something else, which lets you do something else. Now, it's nice that they build it in that you can only fulfill one contract or blueprint over the course of a turn, because that potentially could get out of hand if you could do a whole bunch of those in there. But again, that also requires planning and being purposeful about what you're going to accomplish on any given turn.
So you kind of touched on it, but there's call it 3-ish. They kind of branch off a little bit and come back together, but 3-ish tracks on the right side of the board that there is I don't know, say it's a bonus. It's not really, well, it could be an action, but to move one of your guys up those tracks. And that really lets you combo into a bunch I think that's the one that like really, and then that and fulfilling contracts let you really combo those things together. So
the population track,
the thing on the right side. Yeah.
Then also building the regenerators out, the rewards you get for that. Sometimes they're points, but they might be bumps on those tracks. And then it's also nice that there is a cooperative bonus where if people build under your regenerator, then you continually get that bonus again, which that's fun when there's ways to encourage people to kind of build where you're at.
Yeah, it's got like nice. It has a nice level of player interaction, I think, it's definitely not like a solitaire experience between the worker placement board and how that works and
the cities and the regenerators.
And
the endgame scoring.
Yeah, well, you're racing for all these different endgame scoring things too.
And those icon or like the squares that are filled, kind of like Arnak, where you get to certain levels and you unlock something, like those can be really impactful if you hit them at the right time, and there's a race for those within that as well.
Yeah, so there's just lots of races in this one, and a lot of them are fairly meaningful. And like there's I can throw this as a con because I always forget them, but like the 3 main goals that like you're racing for too.
For me, those are like...
I think that was going to be a con for me. I think they're just so easy to forget that they exist.
Yeah.
They're just kind of... it's contracts or blueprint, and there's 3 total blueprints, and there's a whole deck of contracts.
We forget them almost always.
Yeah.
Until someone's like, oh yeah, I've got that one. Like, crap, I had that one 2 turns ago.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, but...
Yeah, I think just having contracts in this game would have been totally fine. And maybe even like 3 decks of contracts. Because I think the level 2 contracts tend to be pretty easy towards, call it round 2 and round 3, and then the level 4, like it jumps significantly in what's required to do them. So,
and I know you can get to those earlier if you run out of the other ones beforehand, but it always seems like that would be hard to have happen, especially because you're even adding to the deck when there's 4 players.
Yeah, we cranked through it pretty good today. We almost got to the end of it.
Okay,
it was close.
But I really like the contracts. I think they're cool. They're things to strive for. You can get them to synergize with your endgame scoring, and then they give you like little bonuses, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, that's another huge pro for me. Just the feedback loop of this game, as far as the little dopamine you get when like you do this to give you this, that gives you this, to let you do that. Like there's a lot of little like you can get more actions from like fulfilling contracts and stuff than you get, right? Like I said, you get that many actions, but then even some of the actions on the board are like build 2 buildings or whatever. So
I think the components are really good. I really enjoy the art and the way it looks. It's nice that the board is opened where you can stand and place your pieces. I guess it's not for the regenerators, but it is for everything else. The regenerators just sit on top. Everything else is cut into it.
And I think they did that so they could put the icon on there that you get the energy.
Yep, I think they had to do it that way, or you'd probably forget more frequently. It's nice that you can count that. It's easy to forget to move that bump.
Correct.
That is super influential and unlocking extra people and income for fuel. So it's nice that you can just go back and look always.
I think that player board's really cool.
It is.
I like the fact that you're racing it up for points. you're racing up for income for your fuel. And like, depending on how high your energy is, that unlocks you the ability to build stuff. And then which one of the things do I build? Because they give you different bonuses, or sometimes if you pay a little bit more, you can unlock 2 things that'll give you more energy. Because some of the like regenerators have like an energy link between them. Or do you just try to shoot up really high in energy to start building the gold ones earlier because you get like juicier stuff with those?
I wish the gear side of the board was a little bit more interesting than it is. It's kind of interesting in that it's got, the wires crossed and you can take different paths. But for the most part, it's like, get 2 points, get 2 fuel. And I guess I wish there would have been a little bit more wiggle.
It's not very easy to get gears too. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's the energy track, which goes up, and then there's a single gear track. And the lowest one of those 2 is your income. Then there's another gear that has like kind of a windy path that you can like crisscross and stuff that gets you more bonuses. And when you get a gear, you can pick between the 2 gears of which one you move, right? And they're kind of hard to get. So I haven't really seen, I saw you crank them pretty hard one game, but like, unless
I mean, you basically have to shoot for them, right? Because their bonus is kind of all over the place, or you specifically have to take the action to do a gear bump, which feels kind of like a little bit of a throwaway action. It's more like, oh, I don't have fuel to do something else, I'll bump a gear. But like if you just go and you tried to take every single gear bonus thing you could find, you get a lot of stuff through there too.
Yeah, it just...
There's a lot of points and fuel as you go up that thing. I think if it had other stuff on it, like actions, like you probably would juice yourself.
I don't think it needs actions. For me, I would get rid of the second gear and just have one gear that you could kind of move around, and that would also be your level. Like, it just feels a little bit...
I feel like you would just top the top of that pretty easy.
Maybe. I mean, I've never gotten it past like 5 fuel or 6 fuel. So yeah, I've never gotten a lot of income in this game. So maybe it's just me not doing that. I don't know. But I always feel like I struggle to get energy and I struggle to get those gears.
Energy's hard outside of regenerators. And you got to have a boatload of fuel to be able to do that.
Yeah, there's 2 energy printed on your player board that you can take. One with a gear and one with the tech, yeah. Other than that, you just got to build regenerators.
Yeah, but you got to have your energy up to build some regenerators. I'm sure you can't get stuck that way, but like sometimes you can get stuck where I don't know that there's enough spaces on the board to put everybody's.
No, it's hard. Honestly, I think we're probably ready to bounce over because I think that's a good segue into it. I do think it is. I think it's going to be very hard to be successful in this game if you don't find a way to build a lot of regenerators right off the bat. Because and that can be tough because you may be in a position where you have very limited, again, because of the way the board's split, which I think is super interesting and requires long-term planning. But the first time I played this, I just couldn't build regenerators. Like I just wasn't in places that let me do it. And then my energy was never big, which means I didn't have, I was locked out of building advanced buildings because you can't build those if your energy's not high enough. I just feel like and maybe that's the point it is the point of the game. The theme is you need regenerators out to do it. But it might feel a little too tight to get regenerators out for how necessary it is to get an engine building to be successful.
So I have a question. The difference between a 3 and 4 player game is we block off California, essentially, right?
And there's less action
tiles. There's 2 X's that exist on the board on a 3-player game at the very sides. So there'd be 2 extra actions that would also exist.
But on the main board where you're building buildings and stuff, there's a whole nother
area.
The yellow area.
Okay. So it's not as limiting as...
No. And it does start filling up, like, at the end, it's like, oh, I can't build a bronze regenerator anywhere where I want to because it was kind of filling up.
Do you know if is there always enough bronze, silver, and gold for everybody to empty their whole board?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think there should be either. There's definitely, like, that should be something that you have to compete for, I'd imagine. But maybe there is.
I don't think there is. We were out of in the our 3-player game. I built all 3 of my golds. Rob built 1. Tim built 1.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the red ones were gone because I was trying to score that. I was getting points for it. And I think most of what you all had to have done was in the purple. So there might have only been 1 spot left that was gold.
Okay.
Regenerators are good. They make Phoenix. Is that what the thing is?
Right.
Yeah, whatever the...
So, I mean, regenerators are good because then they let people build the buildings. And then the buildings are primarily the buildings are what do the contracts.
Yeah.
So that's why those are both good, which I think is cool. Like, you can kind of go both ways on that, or you can take contracts that let you build regenerators. Or I really like the beginning draft of stuff because it's not just starting resources. All the starting tokens have things you can do.
Getting pieces on the board. Which
Yeah, like
is nice.
put something on the board or get a free upgrade for your guy. So I really like the beginning draft of
It's really
things.
reminiscent of Covenant, actually, that we did recently, and the fact that you're getting stuff from there.
I mean, it was kind of like the SETI expansion too, where your starting resources are like little actions that you could put on the board. So one of my, I really like that there is a whole bunch of endgame scoring that you're kind of, I guess, racing to. Like you're racing to it, but you're not like really locked out of it. It's just, you're able to look at the board. There's 9 places. So there's 3 on one side of the board, 3 on the like population track. I don't know what that is. And then 3 at the top of the worker placement spots.
And I like how you you get there different ways. Like one of them, you have to move your guy up the population track to the right spot. The other one, you can just, when you unlock a guy, you can take.
Right.
And then the other one, you have to plan ahead of where you're going to promote a guy up to level 4. And then you have to have the guy there at that moment to do that, which I screwed that up twice today.
Yeah.
And what's cool about it is like when you get pretty good at this, I think you can do, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 total of those end game things. Like if you really hammered them hard.
I scored 6 of the 9 today.
So is there 6 guys on your board that you can unlock?
I only had 1 guy left, actually, now that I think about that. So
there's 6 guys on your
5
board.
and 2 are on the board to start with, and there's 5 in your thing. So I think best
7.
case is 7. You can
okay,
score.
7, because you could unlock the one that's on the board, the population board, you unlock 2.
Yeah,
there's 2 there, 1 locked up and 1 at the base, and you free him when you hit the orange line.
And then you have 5 guys. So you only have 7 total workers.
7 total, yeah.
So you could get 7.
Yep.
Okay.
I really like the choice of when you unlock a worker, you can put him on the population track, or you can put him at the top of the worker placement board, or you can, put him at the bottom of the board to just, for the end game scoring. I think that's really cool. And certainly you can combo together some of those things. On top of, there is a level 4 tech. Was there 5 of those? 5 level 4 techs in the game, or is there more than that? Do you know?
I think all the techs are out every game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
but they give you end game scoring stuff too. So I assume we were missing one because I don't think we had the houses as a level 4 tech, but we had the green and the military one. So basically, there's those 3 plus the 4th kind of Nintendo cartridge that you can get that for end game scoring, and I think you can really hammer a couple things and score really well, and I think that's really cool.
I think in regards to replayability, I think Rob mentioned there's only one of the scoring categories that doesn't come out, but based on where they're located, that can really limit your ability to harmonize and score something multiple times. So again, you got to be really purposeful with where you want to put your people to maximize the things that you're already doing to score. And I think that that's really rewarding in this as well.
Like all the end round stuff is on the board. Like everything is printed on the board. I've played this game, I don't know, 7 or 8 times now, not close together. Like the iconography at the beginning, I think is a con for me a little bit. So, like 2 or 3 of the icons are like, what does that mean?
That was another thing I was going to say in cons. I don't think the iconography is stellar, to be honest.
It's not, I would say 80% of it is.
Yeah.
And there's 20% of them that are like, that's kind of a weird thing. But now that, even though that I've played it, like, I just know what those do now, even though, like, the last time, I don't play this game that often. And Tim's like, I don't remember how to play this game. And I gave him, like, 6 highlights, and you never really asked a question.
Yeah, I mean...
So, like, I think for the length of play for this game, which I think is also a pro, for the meat of it, the decision-making, like, this is a really good, like, middleweight type Euro that doesn't overstay its welcome.
I mean, we played in an hour tonight.
Yeah,
we were cooking. But...
maybe I'm getting into final thoughts a little bit, but like, I really like the play time, and it's one of those games where everything's kind of on your player board and on the board for like end game score. Like, I don't need to really get into the rule book, and that's what I like. Like, that's a big pro for the game as well.
A couple more things just to build off those, and they're not major things by any means, but I do think it feels a little weird, especially for somebody who's playing the game first. You don't really feel the benefits of your houses until the end of the game and how they score. And so somebody not understanding exactly where the benefits come from that, or also if you spend a lot of time building houses in the beginning, you may not be getting that return on investment as much upfront, which may affect your engine building. I do want to play more to see about that, because again, I really, upon the plays that I've had, I really feel like you just have to do regenerators, especially at the beginning. And without doing that, you're never going to take off.
But I mean, you built a ton of houses too, because you did a bunch of contracts.
I just kept getting contracts that were the same things I had already done.
Oh, sure.
Is what helped, because I think I only built 5 total houses, and almost all of those came from contract rewards, which was kind of crazy. I guess, back to the iconography, there are a few things where it's just kind of hard to tell, is this something that gives me the reward or doesn't it give me the reward? You just naturally kind of think, because when you build regenerators, that you get the reward that is on right above it, and that also there's these little tape bonuses that if you build on both sides, you get the bonus of. It's just really easy to think I'm also going to get that when building cities, and you don't. And so that feels kind of weird. And just, again, the iconography in a few instances of, the double arrow thing. Like, I still don't firmly know that I know what that means. You just take another benefit somewhere else. And sometimes you get the bonus and sometimes there isn't. So some of that is just a little bit weird. And maybe if there was a player aid that just kind of gave you those that not outside of just the main one, maybe that would help a little bit, but it's not a major thing, but it's just.
Yeah, there should definitely be like a small player aid that shows the icons. That is the one thing, like the rulebook's pretty good, but like trying to find where the stuff is in it is not maybe so easy. Some of the appendix stuff is in like different spots.
That's like a whole other page, I think, right? Because the whole back of the rulebook is just the solo.
So, sorry, it's Devir game. Like, where would you rank this on the rulebook? Like,
I mean, this wasn't their. This is what the game looked like before they got it.
Okay.
So this has nothing to do with their rules. But I mean, it's a good rule book.
It's a good rule book. The way it lays stuff out, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. We kind of weave some other cons in there, but is there anybody have any more cons you kind of want to talk about?
I have another pro based off what Jake said, and I don't know that we talked about it a lot, but the theme for me shines through in the production of the game. Like the player boards, they look really cool. They kind of look like a little console. And then the map, I just love the way the map looks. It looks like you have the map kind of like taped up on your wall, and like the little things you flip over, like it's like tape holding it all together.
Or like floppy disks.
Yeah, or like the cardboard tokens or like floppy disks. Just the aesthetic of this game is fantastic, I think.
Yeah. The Nintendo cartridges.
Yeah, little Nintendo cartridges.
It's definitely really immersive. And again, fuel being your resource, and you do feel like you're doing what you're doing, as opposed to just I'm moving a cube somewhere.
All right, final thoughts time here on the Board Boys podcast for Phoenix New Horizon. We have a 3 Boing rating scale, 0 being the worst, 3 being the best. Your favorite game ever is a 4 Boing game. Half Boings are allowed.
Your favorite game ever at that moment?
Of the month.
Of the month, yes, okay. Or for me, never.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what is going to have to happen.
I should have 4 Boing Speakeasy is what I should have done.
Yeah, there you go. Until something became better than Speakeasy.
Yeah, like Phoenix New Horizon.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Spoilers. All right. A 0 game of Phoenix New Horizon, I think, is it's kind of funny because I've been watching the Fallout, the TV show.
Okay.
And this also kind of reminds me of Fallout.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I think the 0 Boing is you just never realize that the surface is habitable.
you stay in the cave and revive.
You just stay in the cave and revive.
Have you ever seen any like of the recaps or anything of what happens in some of these the vaults? Oh, you should watch it. Like there's some like YouTube videos and stuff where they explain like some of the experiments were happening in the vaults in Fallout. It's crazy. Or like you read the notebooks and stuff when you go in the vaults. Yeah,
I've never actually played the video game. I really like the show.
Fallout New Vegas is very good. Fallout 3 is pretty good. Both are getting remastered here soon, so that's good because they're basically unplayable at this point in time because they're so buggy. Fallout 4 is okay, and then I would put everything else in the trash can.
Ben told me if I was going to play one to play New Vegas.
Yeah. Which was not made by Bethesda.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
The story's like better, and we just were introduced to Robert House in season 2, so that guy's something else.
Yeah, I don't remember who that is, but
he's like the leader guy of New Vegas. He's got the mustache. He built the robots and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. But New Vegas is very fun.
Cool. The 3 Boing game is you rebuild the utopia, I suppose.
You
trying to
build
think
New
of like
Vegas.
a good. I mean, it's not like Water World. That's horrible. What's a good civilization that came back after?
I don't know.
And none of them.
Yeah, I can't think of any of them.
Usually bad stuff just keeps happening.
Just Mad Max in it.
I mean,
like Wheel of Time. Because I never really realized this until I watched Wheel of Time. Do you know Wheel of Time?
I haven't read it either, but
okay. Well, Wheel of Time is set in it's like magic, and you think it's like you think it's like in the past, but they show remnants of like a future civilization that like it basically just put them back in the Middle Ages. So in the before times, in the wheel, like things just happen over and over again. So eventually the wheel is going to get back to being like normal life again. I think.
Stormlight Archive's a little bit like that, where there's a bunch of remnants of like an advanced, I don't know, call it civilization that collapsed.
Yeah, but like now they're riding horses.
Correct.
Yeah.
Not advanced like they were driving cars, but like a little bit more technology and stuff that they were using.
Sure. So. Tim, why don't you go first?
All right. I no idea what I really expected from this game. I liked it more than I think I thought just looking at you guys playing it. Because like I said, I saw you guys playing it a bunch and I never was just like, yeah, get me in one of those
Was
games.
it better than the real 2021?
It was, yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, 2020 was brutal.
Right.
2021 was kind of a little bit better after that. But man, yeah, 2021 was tough too. But I think I'm going to give it 2.5. I'm not really sure what would get it to a 3 for me, but I do really like it. I think it's really cool. Something's just, I feel like it's just didn't all come together for me. And maybe that's just, I played it at 2 players and 3 players. So maybe it's just the 2 plays, but I really like it. I think it's good and I would recommend it to anybody. And it's in a small box. So like there's a lot in there for.
That's bang on for Devir.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can go next. I like this. I like it quite a bit. It's a really snappy and deep experience. It hits a lot of the right notes in the fact that it does a lot of things unique and you ultimately can't do everything that you want to do. And again, those are the things that kind of bring me back to games. I'm a little bit worried that just pursuing a heavy regenerator strategy is just the way to go. And so I want to play it more, but I'm kind of apprehensive about that long term. But it's definitely a 2.5 for me. I think it's a ton of fun, and I am glad I own it.
In a game where you're rebuilding civilization to build the regenerators, to build the buildings, I think it's one of those things where, unfortunately, it's something you have to do. Like, you can't not do it. And the thing is, if you let someone just do a lot of it, then you're going to have maybe a bad time. So like, what, good or bad, it's a thing where people just need to know you can't let somebody just do all of something and like not dip into it at all, kind of a thing. And I don't feel like, I feel like we all did fairly well tonight. Like I scored one of my lower scores tonight, but I'm not sure what didn't combo together quite for me. There's definitely a threshold where you kind of feel like you're rolling. And I think when you're cranking through a lot of contracts, that could be a thing. So being able to cherry pick contracts that you got all the time, I think ultimately is how you do well in this game. Along with like, you need to build regenerators or you're never going to have any energy. Like between those two things, they're very important. And the buildings are what get you the contracts. So I think it all wraps up nicely together.
And if you don't build regenerators, you can't bump your energy up. Be able to build more buildings.
It's kind of like a chicken and the egg kind of thing. I think for me, I have it as a 9 on BGG. And I think it's a 2.5. I'm going to put it on the low side. And I think because that'll probably come down. I think if there were more options in the box, it'd be a 3. Like I want there to be more starting things. I want there to be more contracts. I want there to be more endgame scoring things.
Individual player powers.
Maybe individual, like a small expansion for this game would go a long way, I think. And like I've played this game by far the most, and I feel like, out of us, and I think like I'll keep going back to it once in a while, but I don't know that it has a ton of like, I want to play this all the time kind of thing. So for groups that have a small collection, I could see this getting kind of samey a little bit, just because I feel like there needs to be a little more variety, maybe.
Yeah, because the endgame scoring ones.
You can kind of like, stuff switches around where it is, but every time it kind of feels like you're trying to crack it. Like my scores vary wildly all over the place. So obviously there's not like I don't feel like there's one way to crack the nut. I think you got to put the pieces together during the game and figure it out.
Like, you think if they give you 50% more, like if there's 9 endgame scoring tiles, if they gave you another like 4 and some more starting stuff and some more tech.
I don't think it'd have to be a lot.
Okay.
It could just be a little.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
a player power.
And a player power. Yeah, baby.
All right, sweet. Well, that'll wrap us up for Phoenix New Horizon. We like to look back 1 year in the past in Board Boys podcast to a segment we like to call Bumper Dump. Rob.
Baby, turn around. I want to see that something go bump and dump. Is that how it goes? It's been a while.
You're
Cam.
pretty close. I think that was the most you've said.
Cam, please come back.
Yeah, Cam. We miss Cam. New Daddy Cam. So we looked back at Pampero. So it was a 7.5 for 2049. It's still a 7.5. Bumper Dump.
Definitely bump.
Bump. I think they're coming out with more.
I saw there's a new expansion coming out. It's a Kickstarter right now, I think, actually.
It dumped?
Dump. 22.93.
That's wild.
Maybe just lack of availability.
Did the numbers go down on it?
7.5 still, yeah.
Oh, still 7.5.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting because most of the time the number goes down a little bit and it bumps. And the number stayed the same and it dumped.
I just think not a lot of people are probably, probably doesn't have a ton of ratings either.
I don't know where to look for that, but
I think right under the score it tells you the number of ratings it has.
1,300 ratings.
Yeah, that's not a ton.
Right.
Interesting. We got a dump. I got actually 2 expansions for this over Christmas that I haven't played yet.
Who are you?
I did. Well, I mean, I got them for Christmas.
This might be the game that I'm most interested in playing again.
I will make that one of my 3 games that I bring to
that I haven't.
I had so much fun the last time I played this game, and it really kind of clicked for me the way it didn't the first time. I left that thinking about it over and over again, and sadly, I haven't played it again since. I've brought it to both cons since, and haven't played it again.
Okay. That's a big box to carry around with you.
It is. You carried it around for me at BGG Con, right? No, wait. Which one was it?
Gen Con.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I haven't played it, but I think that's the one that I've definitely thought about the most that I'd like to play again. So
yeah, I really like it still, and I'm very eager to get it played again.
Cool. Well, Rob has not asked anybody for their feedback on this one yet. So
we're ahead.
We're a little ahead of the game. So we will get a post up for some feedback, and maybe we'll catch that the next episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we wouldn't get a lot of feedback on Pampero.
I bet Jeremy Thelman would have said something because he was on the podcast.
I think probably just Jeremy. You know what? I can ask Jeremy his thoughts, and I'll put it in right here.
Perfect. And then coming up,
thanks, Jeremy.
We got Duel for Middle Earth, King of Tokyo Duel. I don't remember what the other 2-player game you played was. SW.
Star Wars, the deck building game.
Star Wars deck building game. We got Finspan, Civolution, Galactic Cruise.
It's time for me to pop out
a couple of
out a new post so people can.
Yeah, but you'll post that in the Discord. But if you want to give us feedback, you do it at the Board Game Geek Guild.
Yep, that is correct. Speaking of the Discord, you can go to theboardboys.com to get to the Discord link. You can also get to a bunch of other links, all our social media. We post pictures of the games we've been playing. You can play games on BGA with us through the Discord. We mentioned Discord about something earlier. Oh, yes, if you would like to play Jake's upcoming release from Capstone Games.
Please do. Come play.
Can you say what the name of it is?
I can't.
What are the rules for that right now?
I don't know the answer to that, so I'm not going to risk it.
Cool.
I also don't. I mean, I would like to think that the game will keep the same name, but I also don't know that it will. So
there's a game.
Untitled Jake, Ryan, Alex game.
Perfect.
It actually has a title, but.
You can go to our website also to go to the Patreon link and become our patron. I would like to thank our patrons now. BJ from Board Game Gumbo, Timothy Crisco, Shifty Teeth, Jordan Smith, Andre Bosch, Braden Dowdy, Rob Cooper, Richard Lane, Matt Kelly, Portland Gamecraft, Terry Ward, Mark D. Quattro, and Jeremy Thoman. Thank you so much, everyone, for supporting the podcast. You're also going to support us with reviews if you'd like to do that on iTunes or Spotify. Until next time, we hope you like board games.
Boing, boing, boing.